This is Serene here, and if you're looking at this gig, Google Page One Local Ranking Takeover, rank brain tested for $36. This is a new gig that I'm offering, and in order to give you the reasons behind why it works and why it's important, especially if you're trying to rank locally, which is the focus of this gig, I'm going to give you a basic quick lesson. So stay with me. Some of the stuff is very technical, but it'll give you the exact reasons why you need this gig. So right here it says, rank your local business site, customer site, or your ranking rent site on page one of Google. So let me show you the research that's went into the methods behind this, because the methods behind this strategy are based on Google algorithms. So the best strategy that a person could put together to get you ranked in Google is by using what Google says to do. So this isn't a theory or something someone else came up with. This is specifically dedicated to getting you ranked locally and organically based on what Google has. All right, so let's jump into it and see. So here's the actual patent for Google Panda. And I chose this one because of the wording that they have in this particular patent. So you can see up here, this is United States Patent Office. You know, this is uspto.gov. You see that it's called Panda. Down here, you can see inventors. Navneet Panda, Mountain View, California, and Vladimir. These are two Google workers. Panda, obviously the algorithm change for this was named after him. You see it says Google Incorporated, filed 2012, and it was finally, finished in 2014. So let me read it real quick so you can get an overview. Method, systems, apparatus, including, actually, let me jump down. I don't think you want to hear about all of that because it's worded in a very technical way, but there's a particular part. Here it is. So it says, one of the methods includes determining for each of the plurality of groups of resources a respective count of independent incoming links to resources in the group, determining for each of the plurality of groups of resources a respective count of reference queries, determining for each of the plurality of groups of resources a respective group specific modification factor, modification meaning change, queries meaning searches, right? Plurality of groups meaning what? Groups of keywords, right? Wherein the group specific modification factor for each group is based on the count. So the modification, how much change they give to ranking, really is what it's saying, is based on the count of independent links. You already knew that, right? And the count of reference queries for the group. What does this mean? The amount of searches for the queries, queries being keywords. So they're saying this, the amount of change that's given, right? The modification factor, which is the amount of change that a SERP is going to change, is based on the count of links and then the queries, searches, right? So when people search for these keywords, they're going to do different things, right? And that's where you get into click-through rate and bounce rate and everything like that. But focus on this. Basically, it's saying if you got a whole bunch of links, right? That's one thing. If you don't have people searching for or querying, as Google calls it, for these groups of keywords, not individual single keywords, which most people focus on, groups of keywords, then you have those two things. Those are the two things that have the modification factor. That's what's going to give you a change in the SERPs. And it says it's based on. So these are the two foundational bases of ranking, right? So let me read the rest. With each plurality of groups of resources, the respective group, and pay attention to how they word this, the respective group specific modification factor for the group, wherein the respective group specific modification for the group modifies initial scores generated for resources in the group. Initial scores, that's SERPs, that's rankings. So they're saying these two things modify the initial or the starting out rankings for groups of resources, for groups of keywords in the group in response to received search queries. So they're saying there's a direct response to the amount of searches people are doing looking for a particular keyword that are grouped together, groups of keywords that are related to your site or different web properties that you have. So I hope you really caught this. The reason I even brought this up and the reason it's important is because there's a thing they have called Google Analytics or Google Webmaster Tools. And look what they tell you. If you go down here in acquisition, right? Search engine optimization, right? Isn't that what you're doing? SEO, search engine optimization. It has a thing called queries, right? Queries. This is Google telling you what queries are coming in for your specific website that you're tracking. Why is this important? One thing this is important. Let me show you something. This query right here, beats for sale, right? And this is just an example website. There's nothing really, the only thing done to this is on page. So based on the on page, Google thinks it's relevant for whatever these terms are. But follow me and stay with me on this particular point so you can really get why this gig is important and why it works, right? So look, beats for sale, it says the impressions, 6 impressions, right? It's not really a big deal, but just follow the points, right? How many clicks? 0, right? Average position, 9.8. So it's saying that if somebody searches for beats for sale, right? These are queries that Google are reporting from its search engine. Average position for this is 9. Now look at this. Beats for sale. Let's go to the search engine in a different browser because I'm logged in on this one. All right. Beats for sale, right? So it said it should be either 9 or 10, right? Beats for sale. Let's count. First result, right? Let me go back. Here's the actual site name, lbeats.com, right? So let's go back. Beats for sale. This is the keyword at the top, beats for sale, right? Or beat for sale. Okay. So here's the first. It should be either 9 or 10 is what it said. That was the result. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9. It's not it. There's 10. It's not it. Let's go to page 2. There's 11. That's not it, right? There's 12. Not it. 13. Not it. Not it. Not it. Not it. Why am I showing you this? Basically, it's not any of these. So what does this mean? It means the results I see when I search is different from what Google is testing for my site. This is an internal test Google is doing. Google looked at my page, looked at the on page and said, this site looks like it's relevant for this search term, this query, beat for sale. And in its own independent testing, it gave it an average position of 9. Because I just searched and I don't see it for 9 or 10. But it's doing testing that I don't see, and it gave it an average position of 9. Why? Because it wants to see how relevant it is for this search term. Do you follow what I'm saying? So the average impressions, it made it show up 6 times for this search term in this position, and it seen that it got 0 clicks. This is what Google is using to decide if this site is relevant to this term based on the amount of impressions, the average position, and how many times it got clicked, right? So stay with me. This right here tells you that the queries and the amount of clicks are directly related to, according to their patent, how it ranks your site, right? All right, so bringing all this together, why is it important? 1, this is a Google patent. It just told you exactly how they rank sites, what's important. Links and search queries for groups of keywords, right? Google Analytics and Google Webmaster Tools will tell you what independent studies they're doing, Google is doing for your site for what queries, right? What do we do in this gig? In this gig, we go and specifically give you Google search engine traffic for up to 3 main keywords based off of everything I just showed you. So this isn't a guessing game. This is exactly what Google is asking for. On top of that, we do a local snack pack map takeover package that is a tiered custom map linking campaign to dominate the snack pack. Okay? So this is organic rankings. This is snack pack. This is map rankings. And this is everything is specifically based off of Google's own patents. It's exactly what they're looking for. We give you the on-page recommendations so that your on-page is ironclad to match everything else we're doing. Now think about this. If you're in a low to medium competition keyword, that's probably going to be enough, right? Because you're giving Google exactly what they want. If everything else you've done is right and your site's not penalized or spammed, then this is probably going to be enough. What about if you're in a mid to moderate or even high competition, like, personal injury lawyer niches, surgeon niches, things where there's probably a professional SEO doing some serious work. Order some of these gig extras. And even if you're in a low to mid competition and you say, you know what, you really want to dominate, order some of these gig extras. 50 citations, $33. You'll get the full report, login details. These are manually created. You can go in, you can change pictures, you can change, whatever you want to change. You get all the login details, you can do that. If you need some really, really strong authority, 25 PBN links, $60. Trust flow, 27 plus, citation flow, 27 plus, domain and page authority, 36 plus. Some of these are even higher than that, but that's the default, right? These are all homepage backlinks, 25 PBNs. This, if you get 50 citations, 25 strong PBN backlinks, this map pack where you're getting the snack pack, 3-pack at the top of local searches, plus you're getting this traffic, you're giving the Google patent exactly what it wants. And hey, while you're at it, go ahead and throw in 2 more tiers on top of your links to give them that extra boost. If you do that, you're going to rank, period. You're going to get some serious movement. On top of that, guess what? This gig is guaranteed. If you don't get movement in the search, you get 45% of what you paid back. Why 45%? I just showed you all the work that's going to be done. That's why. So you still get 45%. And most of the time, if you don't see movement for a little while, it might just be things are indexing or Google takes a little bit longer in your niche to apply what it's indexed, because it works in two ways. Google indexes new links, right? It finds new stuff, and then it adjusts site rankings according to its algorithm. So it takes a little bit of time. If you have any issues with this gig, shoot me a message. We'll get it taken care of. But again, just showed you exactly why you need this gig. Order it right now before the price goes up.